Guys, welcome back. We are still continuing this 30-minute process of going through vendors and people and businesses, small business. I say vendor because it was a wedding vendor we just talked to. But my name's Jeramie. This is Raw Focus. This intro is short, guys. I want this focus, especially in Corona times. It's May 1st right now. We just got another 14-day extension on our stay-at-home orders. So we're just stuck. And right before this, I did a broadcast with Larry, who we're going to listen to, who has a great DJ voice, radio voice. That's one thing I know about him that I've always remembered ever since we started weddings, before we actually interacted as friends. And he has this great way of just kind of talking, and he calls it goofing off with his voice, but I think it's kind of like what he was meant to do, if that makes sense. So right before this, we did we're part of Northern Nevada Bridal Association, which is kind of a network of 100 plus wedding vendors. And we kind of had to talk. So he came back on, just kind of talked about his business. I forgot to ask him about a Dick Clark thing. He told me to mention that, and I totally forgot. But it went pretty quick. It was 30 minutes, and it went super fast, just because of all the knowledge that he has. But guys, if you're looking for a DJ, I mean, here's the deal. Any vendor that you find, personality is king, right? Especially a DJ. You need somebody there that knows how to talk to everybody at once, who doesn't have the same set of songs, who doesn't just have new songs, who can go back to old songs, who can go back to, decades and figure out what to do. So he's been DJing weddings for like 29 years. He's been mobile DJing for 30 years, and he was in the radio industry before that. So knowledge is king. And I did mention in this that he doesn't sound old to me, and he was concerned about that. He doesn't sound like he's an older DJ, like that old DJ's only playing like 70s music or whatever. That's not how it is. So take a second. Thank you guys so much for the support. Share, comment, whatever you guys got to do to keep this podcast going. Thank you so much for the support and the comments so far. I'm reading everything and I'm commenting back. Of course, you can email me. You can find all my information in the description or the notes wherever you guys are looking at this. So thank you guys so much. Please enjoy Larry Williams.
I am.
Hey, buddy.
Rock you like a hurricane. Okay, what do I do now? Your video is stopped. Oh, ask me to do video. How about now?
Yeah. There it is.
How about that? All right. Well, that call went pretty good. I didn't see the link. I tried scanning and couldn't see the link for the Nevada Wedding Network until the whole thing was over.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. But now people can see it. I mean,
right.
You can watch it at the end, and it still tracks everything, which is good. So you can always look at the video count later on.
Let me shut my door so that looks better. All right. So here I am.
It's the Reno DJ.
So this, the Reno Tahoe DJ Company.
The Reno Tahoe.
The Reno Tahoe DJ Company. Capital D, capital J. First letter caps on the rest.
There it is. There it is, Larry.
And it's renodj.com.
I got it. So it'll tag onto your personal, and it'll tag onto that business, so you can go back and share through and comment through later as well.
We're not going live, are we?
We are going live, buddy.
Seriously?
Yeah, but we just talk. We just don't worry about the live, Larry. Don't worry about the live. We're just gonna talk.
We're live. I thought this
you're
was like
talking to me. We don't look at the comments, but it's just there. But then after, you can actually share and post what you want to everybody. But this is kind of how I'm gonna tell everybody about you.
I'm scared. It's live.
It's fine. Please take a second to subscribe. Raw Focus.
All right.
Apple.
So this is all DJ.
This is just you.
My life.
This is your business, not even your life, just like your business, what's going on. I mean, yeah, we definitely want to get to how you're here, but this is just your business, so you don't have to focus on networks or anything like that.
Okay. All righty. I can do that. I never talk about me. This is weird.
So is your business called the Reno Tahoe DJ Company, or is it the Reno DJ?
No, the Reno Tahoe DJ Company. The
That's what it's
website
actually called.
The Reno Tahoe DJ Company. So they put me down there with the T's if I'm alphabetically order. And then the website is renodj.com.
That's what, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then I'll have you plug all that stuff too as we naturally go. That'll be kind of towards the end where
you just
ask
me questions, right? And I elaborate.
We're just gonna talk. It's not even like we're just gonna do our thing. But hang tight for me real quick. I'm gonna do a little intro. Hey guys, welcome back to Raw Focus. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Jeramie. I am your host for today. So guys, we have been focusing on these 30-minute spotlights on vendors. And if you guys were just on me with a little bit ago, you'll recognize this guy with me right here. I have been fortunate enough to work with some amazing local vendors, network with some amazing vendors. And although this didn't really start out to be a wedding thing, that's my main crew that I hang out with since I do a ton of weddings. So we are going to be talking to Larry Williams from the Reno Tahoe DJ Company. If you don't know Larry, then you're really not in the wedding industry at this point because he is kind of everywhere. He has associates that work with him. His voice is a radio voice, and he kind of knows what he does. He educates vendors. He educates people within this industry and the whole wedding industry. So he has his own video series going off. Unveiling the wedding?
The veil.
Lifting the veil. I know something to do with the veil. Larry, thank you so much for joining me today, man. I'm excited to kind of learn more about your business, everything that's going on right now, and really what makes you different. So before we get started, can you just tell me how you became a DJ?
Really interesting. I moved up here to Northern Nevada from Southern California back in 1989. And back then I worked at Rockwell International, the guys that build the space shuttle. Okay. I worked for the space shuttle division over there in Cypress, California. And I came up here and I worked for an accounting firm up here. And I wanted to earn extra money to go skiing. Back when I was skinny, I was a skier. I loved to ski. Yeah. So I waltzed into a radio station one day called KGVM Radio, located in Garnerville, Nevada. I walked into a radio station one day and I wanted to pull records for the DJs to make some extra ski money. So I went and met with the GM, who's also the owner, who's also the morning show guy, who's also the main sales guy. He wore a lot of hats. And I said, hi, sir. I'd like to pull records for the DJs. I'd like to make some extra ski money. So he says, okay, well, let's talk about this. He walks me upstairs to what's called the production room. That's where they have all the microphones, the reel-to-reel machines, where they do all the commercial production. Anyways, we started talking. We started talking about my love of music. And I was believe it or not, back when I had hair, I was in a hair band back in the 80s. Back in the early 80s, I was in a rock band that opened for Quiet Riot and Rat and all those big heavy metal bands. I was big in the Hollywood music scene. And we talked about my love of music. And I used to work at Licorice Pizza Records and Tapes. It was a big record store down in Southern California back then. So we were talking about music and my love for music and stuff. And as we were talking, this guy, Lloyd, he was the owner of the radio station. He says, okay, well, here's what I want to do. And he puts a microphone in front of me and he gives me what's called copy. It's basically just a piece of paper that had words on it. And the words were for like a radio advertisement for the Carson Valley Inn. And he says, I want you to read what you see into this microphone. And I'll be right back. Just hit stop on the recorder when you're done. So he puts the reel-to-reel machine and he hits play and record and he walks out of the room. I'm thinking, okay, why? So I guess he wants to make sure I'm literate. If you can't read what's in front of you, there's no way you can read the size of the record album. So I'm reading this copy. Yeah, I'm reading this copy in the microphone. If you come to the Carson Valley Inn on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have great food specials in our 3 restaurants, Katie's, Michael's, and Fiona's. And I'm reading this very monotonely thing. I'm thinking, this is a stupid exercise. Right. And then I started spicing it up. I said, and if you come in right now, you'll get the $6.99 chicken dinner special. That's right, $6.99 chicken dinner special for a limited time here at Michael's at the Carson Valley Inn. So I just started goofing off, right? So anyways, he comes back. I hit stop on the thing. He comes back into the room. He says, okay, did you read that? I go, oh, yes, sir, I did. I go, yeah, I think I did okay. I like to pull records for the DJs. I'd like to make some extra ski money. And he rewinds it. I'm thinking, oh, dear Lord, he's going to listen to me screwing off. So here's all this monotone delivery. Come to the Carson Valley Inn for our 3 great restaurants. And then he hears this, and if you come right now, you'll get the $6.99 chicken dinner special. And he looks at me and he says, how did you know how to do that? Right. I said, do what? Screw off? I do that all the time. He
Yeah.
goes, no, that's called voice inflection. That's very hard to teach. He goes, you're a natural. I'm all, you're kidding, right?
Was that voice? I mean, did that voice come from listening to radio in the past? Like,
Yeah,
how is
it's
that? Because
just
I feel
me.
like that voice is everywhere now, but I don't know when
Yeah,
it happened.
it's just me screwing off. And it's just, when you're driving around your car, all right, that was music from Led Zeppelin. Come in now. After the news break, we'll have more great music from Aerosmith and Ted Nugent. It's just being a stupid radio
Right.
DJ, right? So I was just goofing off. And then as he heard that, I'm sinking lower in my chair. And I'm going, I'm sorry, sir. I'm really
You're
not
embarrassed.
taking this
Yeah.
seriously. I said, can I pull records for the DJs now? And he goes, no, you have a natural voice for radio. I want to make you a radio DJ.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, you're kidding. He's all,
Yeah.
no. So within a week, he makes me an intern. And within a month, I'm quitting my full-time job in Reno at the accounting firm. And he puts me on the air. And I was a on-air radio DJ for 7 years, doing the afternoon
amazing.
drive for KGVM radio. And that's how the radio career and the whole DJ career started. Never
Right.
had an inkling of being a DJ before that.
So, I mean, you obviously had a way with words. You have a way with basically talking to yourself, which is what I feel when I do my own
Right.
podcasts and YouTube videos. I have to like talk to myself, and hopefully people understand it. How
Right.
does this then go? Because not every radio DJ goes into weddings, because they're a totally different animal. And we do have to say that wedding DJs aren't really meant to talk too much. They're meant to guide and help, but they're
That's
not
true.
meant to do what you do on the radio. So how
That's
did
true.
this lead into weddings?
Well, the thing is, I had a DJ who worked at the radio station, and he would do what's called mobile DJing. And he did shows at the Carson Valley Inn. He did shows up at Harrah's or Harvey's up at Lake Tahoe. And he would have me sub for him. And I would go in and just play music and make some light announcements, stuff at these restaurants and stuff. And he had me do some of this. And then I started getting phone calls from listeners saying, we would like you to come DJ our wedding or come DJ our picnic or our car show. And at first I said, no. I said, no, I'm a radio DJ. I proudly hold my chest out and say, no, I don't do that. That's below me, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, you'll pay me how much? And it turned out that, the pay I would get for a one-day car show would be equivalent to the pay I would get for 1 week of being on the air at the radio station.
Right. So I changed your mind on everything.
Yeah. So I started a DJ company called Rock That Rolls Mobile Dance Music. And I would do school dances and just all kinds of stuff. And then I eventually changed the name because people said, you don't do country music? I go, well, yeah, I do country. Well, it's called Rock That Rolls. I do it all. I just call it.
Right.
So then I changed it to Lake Tahoe Mobile Music. And then I started getting calls. You don't come to Reno? I'm like,
right.
Yes.
No, and that's the whole thing. I think when I was talking to Carrie about this and her businesses, she said yes, weddings. Or weddings and events, or whatever. She said yes. She had that issue too of like, oh, so you don't do certain weddings or you don't do gay weddings or something, and it's just a name, people. It's like, we can't say, Reno Sparks, Carson City photography. I mean, it's
right.
So that ultimately led to the name you have now, which is the Reno Tahoe DJ Company. So
which I've had since 2000. So yeah.
Right, but of course you'll go somewhere else, right? You'll go to Vegas if somebody gets you to go there. It's just where you're based off of, and it's a good tone and ring because this is where most of your weddings happen.
Yeah, most of my weddings are here. I do destination wedding. I've gone as far as Tennessee and down south as far as Vegas and Southern California. So
travel everywhere, which is amazing. Do you? So how long have you then been doing weddings?
Okay, weddings since I want to say I just started doing events in 1990. Weddings probably 91, 92.
So we're looking at. Was that almost 30 years?
Almost 30 years. I've been 30 years as a mobile DJ. 30 years as a mobile DJ, and weddings probably 29 years.
That's amazing. So you gotta, I mean, you gotta put that somewhere. You gotta be like, that has to be somewhere, Larry. That has to be like in your tag or something.
Well, there is a good part and a bad part about being a wedding DJ for 30 years. It also makes you sound really old.
It does, but I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I think some people have the connotation that you're still doing vinyl, you're still, CD in it, and but like you have to adapt, right? I mean, but doing something, anything that long, you have it, and you have a team built now, so it's not just you doing weddings. Right. You can book multiple weddings in a day and then push people out to do that wedding for you. So do you still love weddings? Oh, before we do that, I did a wedding with you in Smith Yarrington. We did Smith Valley
Yarrington.
Yarrington.
Yeah.
You DJ'd the parents' wedding, and then you were the DJ for the couple wedding, who were the kids.
25 years later. Yep.
Yeah, so I was able to take a picture of you with everybody together.
Right.
And I think that's amazing. I think that's cool. So yeah,
That
you were
was
new
cool.
at the time, and then you were to do it. I will tell everybody though that you're not old to me as far as your DJing goes.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean, you're current. You know how things run, and you're as good as any DJ I've ever met. Which
Oh,
you know,
thank
so
you.
I don't want people to assume that 30 years,
Oh.
he's like an old school DJ. No, it's not how it worked.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. And you know, I could play new music just like anybody. Yeah, it does. You know, if you have a love for music, if you have a keen ear and eye, and are able to
Right.
read an audience, you can play all styles of music. I can play new music. Now, I'll be honest. When it comes to, I don't do school dances anymore. You know,
Right.
I don't do that sort of thing. When it comes to weddings, if they're a very young couple and they want 3 hours of new dance music, personally, I'd rather put one of my DJs who works for me on that, because
Right.
they're young, they love that music. If I have to listen to 3 hours of hip hop and rap as new music, I'd rather pound my head against the wall, to be honest. So, so I love weddings when they encompass many different styles and genres. When they can go, when we can play a little bit, a sprinkling of big band and jazz in for the cocktail hour, along with adult contemporary music from all different styles and decades. And then dinner, soft lay down to more jazz feel or softer tones. Then we get into dancing, or we're hitting new music just as much as we're hitting 80s new wave music or rock, or we're doing some top 40 of Prince and Michael Jackson, oldies, disco, classic rock, country. When we're hitting all styles, those are the parties that I love and excel in. Yes, I could do 3 hours of new music. I'd rather not. And I'm just being honest and fair to the young people who want nothing but 3 hours. You don't want me. I can do it, but I think you'd really love one of my people on my staff that really excel in that.
But that's still the same company, so they can still reach out to you, and then you're able to push out. Do you find that most people that hire you trust you with your selection, or do you still get the brides that are giving you a detailed list of every song that they want to hear?
They do sometimes give a detailed list. I am very honest with brides, and I'll tell them even before they book me, is like, you're going to tell me some things you want and don't want, and some brides do try to micromanage every song that's played and even the order they do it. Now, I tell them straight up, if you're going to pick every song I play, don't hire me. I'm not your guy. You know, you get an iPod, save yourself $1,000 or $2,000, get an iPod and put all your selections in there. What you're hiring me or my guys or my team for is our ability to read a crowd and be able to respond to that crowd, know when to move out of one style and into another style. And I'll give you, and I'm very honest with my customers too. I'll give you a couple of examples. There was a couple one year. I had two couples the same year. It was just coincidence that it happened in the same year, and they wanted some of that eclectic rock music. Now, in the first example was a wedding that I was doing, and they wanted about 20 Dave Matthews songs. Now, this is back in the early 2000s. They wanted about 20 Dave Matthews songs, cocktail hour, dinner hour. They wanted to start the dancing with Warehouse, which is a 9-minute song. It's mid-tempo. It's not a great dance song. I was honest with them. I said, listen, Dave Matthews is not a dance artist. He goes, I know, but we just love the music. I go, they may not dance to it. I go, I'll play it. But just so you know, that's not my first choice if it were me. He goes, we love Dave Matthews music. And you know what happened is we played it for cocktail, we played some for dinner. We went into Warehouse, and I'll be darned if it didn't fill up the entire dance floor. And we played several Dave Matthews selections through the dancing, and it worked. Now, what I found out later is him and all his buddies, they're from the Bay Area, they would tailgate Dave Matthews concerts in San Francisco. They were huge Dave Matthews fans. So it proves to me that no matter what kind of music, if you really love that artist enough, you'll find a way to dance with it. If you love Norah Jones, you'll find a way to dance to Norah Jones. So I never draw like a line in the sand saying, no, I won't play that. But I will counsel them and say, you know what? It's not a great dance song. If you ultimately want it, I'll play it. But in this case, it worked. Now, in another case, I'll tell you another thing that you may see or you may not see at weddings. And the same year, I had a bride that wanted 4 particular songs. One was Dave Matthews. I want to say Ben Harper, Jack Johnson, and John Mayer. Okay. She wanted these 4 songs played at one point during the dancing. And my DJ at the time was Eric. You know Eric. Eric was the DJ at the time. And he did this wedding. And I told Eric, I said, Eric, have those 4 songs locked and loaded. The bride will let you know when she wants those played, because we want to honor her wishes. She wanted those songs played. Because I'll just let you know. So here's what happened. They actually, she came up to Eric and said, okay, I want those 4 songs played one after another. We're ready. And he says, okay, I'm done. And he started playing them. Her and all of her girlfriends sat down to enjoy the songs, because it wasn't great dance music, which is what I told them. But here's what happened that a lot of brides and grooms don't take into consideration. What happened was that wedding, in that 15-minute time frame when those 4 songs were played and nobody danced, that wedding went from about 75 people down to about 30 to 35, because it created a lull. When you create a lull in the action, it gives people the idea to go to the coat checks. Okay, things are kind of winding down now. And that's what had happened. That's what we don't want for any party. But ultimately, the bride was very happy because those songs meant something to her and her friends.
Right.
But in our business, we want to keep liveliness, upbeat, dancing, rocking.
Right, because if it dies out, they blame the DJ. But also, this comes from experience, I believe. I mean, like, you're able to kind of guide the way that you see it going. So if people aren't on the dance floor, you need to get them on the dance floor. Even if there's a request, you have songs, you have ways to get people on.
Oh, yeah. And this is why I don't take any mandatory playlists. I don't accept them. Now, I will take playlists, and we'll choose different songs from that playlist, and I'll take guest requests, but I won't take a mandatory playlist. You'll play this song, and then you'll play this one, and then you'll play this one after another. I have to have the ability to read that crowd and jump out of one style. Disco, if she has to be playing disco and disco ain't working, I need to be able to move. I'm into something else to get that.
Works, man.
Yeah. So yeah, there's got to be some flexibility. It's like someone telling you to shoot only this way. You know, you can't.
Yeah. And I always tell people the story of, like, when I used to have $800 brides, I would get a whole shot list and they would be on my ass of everything to shoot. But now, when once I started charging the $500 mark, there's a trust. Jeramie, we hired you to be professional. We don't want to think about photography. Do what you do. We have no list, and then I get to play and ultimately create better memories for them. So there's something to be said about that experience, and that's ultimately what we want. How do you feel about receptions that have a stop-go, meaning music's played and then we do speeches and then we play more music and then we do father-daughter dance and we play more music, then 3 hours later we do the garter bouquet toss? Do you like that format, or are you more of
I personally don't. I personally don't, but I understand it. And I understand it because the stop and go thing is really East Coast tradition. We have East Coast, we have West Coast in weddings. And me being a student of weddings and a student of this type of thing, I live and breathe this. It's very East Coast tradition where you'll have the bride and groom come in and they'll actually go do their first dance. And then they'll have toast before dinner. And then while they're waiting for their first course meal, they're going to have 10, 15 minutes of upbeat dancing. Then they serve a meal course. And then when they're waiting for the next course, they'll do another 10 minutes of dancing. And they do dancing in between the course meals. That's a big thing on the East Coast. We don't do it here on the West Coast. I've seen it rarely. But yeah, most of the time it's, you do your dinner, you do your toast, cake cutting, first dance, especially dances, and upbeat dancing. And I always suggest the cake cutting is in a natural transition right after the toast, because as that cake is being served, people are then sitting, watching the first dance. They're watching the father-daughter dance, the mother-son dance, and any other specialty dances while they're eating cake. Because once you get the upbeat dancing started and you break and send everybody back to the seats to get cake, you killed your dance floor. So
that creates that lull that you were talking about, where people
start
to go, all right, yeah.
So there's different ways of doing it. No way is the right way or wrong way. If a bride has her heart set on doing the cake, into the dancing, done. And I'm not going to try to talk her out of it. That's her wish. I will let her know why we do the cake, what we do, but it's up to her.
Our job is to guide, our job is to guide, and then even changing midway, saying, hey, there's a lull happening right now, or something's going on. Do you guys want to just do this? Or it might be a good time for the photographer to go out and do that.
Well, and you have to be able to pivot, because as a photographer, you go out and get a sunset shot. I got to be able to pivot and entertain the audience.
Keep the dancing going. The number one thing that I hear when I'm on the sunset shoot is always like the bride will hear the song that they love, right?
Oh,
Oh my God, that's my song while we're
right,
shooting.
right,
And I'm like, you know what? When we go back in, he'll just replay it. Like I'll ask him to
right,
replay it. We'll play it twice. It's totally fine. But it's
right,
always a weird thing when we go out there. That's when like their song comes up. And I'm like, how
right,
does it
right.
happen every single time? What makes you guys different from why are people hiring you? Why are people hiring you than other DJs? Do you know why people are following you guys?
Yes, the biggest, if you want to call it a sales tool, I don't really like that word so much, but for lack of a better word that comes off the top of my head, the biggest thing that people come to us for is something I've proudly promoted for years. And to this day, I'm still proudly the only DJ that I know of that promotes it. And that's what I'm going to tell you what I won't do.
Oh,
And I put something on my website that says I'm unobtrusive and non-overbearing. That
right,
means I'm not going to do any shtick. I'm not going to crack any jokes. I'm
right,
not going to do any of those weird, crazy antics where some DJs, and again, this comes a lot from the home stereo kind of, DJs, at weekend warriors, as we used to call them. They want to be a show,
right,
and I'm not a show. And I tell people straight up, no, I'm not going to be there to overtake your day.
right,
I'm there to kind of, I'm the pilot, so to speak, that kind of, draws everybody in and has them celebrating with you. I steer the
right.
ship, but I'm not going to be the one that has you sinking lower in your chair going, oh my gosh, what's he doing to our wedding?
So
And
you're
that
not
happens.
gonna just randomly sing a karaoke song in the middle of, oh
No.
my God, I've seen
Yeah.
that maybe 10 times in my career
Oh my
where the DJ
gosh.
will just go out and just start singing, and I'm
Dude,
sitting there like, what is happening? Why is this
there,
happening?
there is a huge, huge cheese factor with DJs. And it's
Yeah,
how a lot of DJs have gotten a bad name, or how the DJ profession has gotten a bad rap or a bad name over the years. It's that cheese factor. And here's one of my other policies that I have, and I'm very upfront with customers about it. My policy with myself and my guys, I will not play just on my own. You won't see me play Macarena, Love Shack, YMCA,
right,
Electric Slide. I don't dance with your guests. I don't do all these things and just come off the top doing them. Now, Chicken Dance and Hokey Pokey, I don't do these songs unless
that's a requester,
is the
right?
caveat, the bride and groom specifically want it. Now, I do have brides that say, listen, that's a mainstay. We have that at every family get together. Perfect,
Totally.
beautiful. I would love to play it. But on my own, you won't just see me bust out in the Chicken Dance or the Alley
Right,
Cat or just any of these overplayed wedding songs.
right,
And my customers, because I call myself a more upscale service, they appreciate that. There's so much music in the library. I don't have to play YMCA and Macarena every week.
right.
I just don't need to.
Are you guys getting up to date with all the TikTok songs coming out right now?
No.
You're
I
gonna so
know
what's
they're
gonna
there.
happen, I mean, it's fine, but what's gonna happen is like the Macarena, YMCA, they all have their own little dances that go with it that just keep going. Well,
Right.
TikTok right now, they have current top 40 songs, but people are making dances for it. So you're gonna notice people are gonna play these songs, they're gonna request these songs, they're gonna come out, and then they're gonna have a little dance.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that kind of unfolds, and
If
you'll start to learn these new songs. And
if they are in the
um,
top 40, I will have them. So
yeah,
that's another thing that I do where a lot of companies don't, is I subscribe to professional music service that
mhm,
gets me all the new hits. If it's on the radio, if it's in the top 40, I'm going to have it, plain and
right.
simple. So will I know the dance steps? No, not at all.
So
But
Larry,
I'll have them.
how is coronavirus, COVID? I know we're all talking about weddings. How is this affecting your guys' business, and what are you doing to pivot out of it?
Well, for starters, it's the postponement thing that we're in now.
Hmm.
And I'm always trying to work with customers on those postponements and cancellations, which we haven't had, which is good. But
Right,
one of the things that I'm very happy about during this whole slow down, stay at home order thing is our policies. My policies have all been geared towards the eventuality of something like this happening. So where this is hitting a lot of companies super hard, it's not hitting my company near as bad. I
right,
don't take a 50% deposit. My deposit is basically a small nominal fee to hold and secure the date and to be utilized for the pre-event planning that takes place before a wedding. So
right,
my low deposit amount really helps. my cancellation clause is 24 hours, which is unheard of in this industry. And
It
that's
is.
because well, I've never had anybody cancel outside of 24 hours. And the reason I have that is because you live out here. We have a very strong military offering of people out here, Nevada Guard and that sort of thing. And back when Desert Storm happened in 2003, we had a lot of people that were shipping out, sometimes with 2 weeks notice, and weddings had to be canceled or postponed. Right. And we've had winter storms. We have lightning, thunderstorms. We have all kinds of things that can hamper the ability to keep a wedding on the books a few days out. We know when a winter storm's coming. We know when bad weather for a backyard wedding is going to happen a few days out to make another plan B. So postponements are something that has to happen, and we plan for them. And my 24-hour cancellation clause makes it to where people aren't on the hook for all their money. So I got
so people are then it's safe for them to book with you, knowing that maybe if something does happen. I know that that's an issue with retainers and deposits. A lot of people put the money down, and what if something happens? They obviously want to respect your wishes, but they also want to not spend money on things that they're not using. So, and that this probably comes from your experience and maybe the success of your business, where if somebody does cancel, 24 hours, that you're not, oh my God, I can't eat for a week.
Not chasing them down. It's client-friendly policies. I mean, a contract should always be client-friendly, and it should benefit both parties, not just be one-sided towards a company. And that's a strong thing that I've followed for you. And again, getting back into, me being a DJ, I've also been a professional speaker for a lot of years. I've been on the main stage at Wedding MBA 2 different times. I've spoken at Wedding MBA 3 different times, speaking to wedding professionals 2,000 plus in all facets of the wedding industry. And that's one of the things I've talked about on stage, is to have client-friendly policies that safeguard your customers. It's all about them. And this is why I don't do the shtick and I don't do the joking around and all the other, why I'm unobtrusive and non-overbearing. It's all about them.
I love that. I think it's, I think a lot of us need to remember that, especially in my industry. I feel like a lot of photographers have the ego and, they need to get the shot for this. They need it for their portfolio. And, I don't care if I have to take the bride out for an hour after or whatever, because I need to get the shots. And we forget that it's about them. Larry, we have like 3 minutes left. It's going quick, right? You were all nervous about this?
Time flies, boy, oh boy.
You make it easy for me. So
I will talk more here than I will ever talk at a wedding.
Right. You're like, hey, I thought you were obtrusive. But if you ever want to come back, let me know, because I know we're in networks together, so we talk a lot. But if there's anything that you're ever promoting or pushing, that's what this is here for. I do want you to take 2 minutes, though, and just kind of tell people how to find you, how to get a hold of you. Maybe your average pricing is kind of what I always ask. Go for it.
Yeah. You can find me at renodj.com. That's RENODJ.com. I'm in Carson City, and I dispatch out of Carson City, serving the entire northern Nevada area. Very large range, and I have no travel fee because I could dispatch the South Shore just as easily as North Shore. I even go up to Great Eagle without a travel fee. On our website, you will find our packages. I have several packages to choose from, so it's not one size fits all. You can find different packages under different price ranges. And I have my base starting price right around that of the national average. You can find the national average by putting your zip code into Wedding Wire, and it'll show you the national average price is usually between $1,200 and $1,300 for a wedding, for a 4-hour wedding, for a weekend. Wedding Wire's got it. The Knots got it. I put those on my website so they could put in the zip code and find those national averages. My prices start there. And they go up from there based upon what all they want to include in the packages. You'll also find our reviews page where I have nothing but 5-star reviews all across all 4 platforms of Wedding Wire, The Knot, Google, and Yelp. And you can click and go straight to those platforms and look at all the 5-star reviews. You'll see our About page where you can learn a little bit of history about the company. But renodj.com. I do work 7 days a week. I live and breathe this. I am there around my customers' time frame. So they can call me morning, afternoon, or evening, weekends and holidays included. If I'm available, I answer the call. If they get the voice machine for any reason, I will get right back to them. So yeah, I'm at their beck and call. So
that's perfect. So, and how many DJs do you have on staff or available?
Right now, I used to have a company that had 7. Okay. I basically book 2 weddings at a time, myself and one of my DJs. It's usually my main DJ is Cooper, and I have assistants and backup DJs in the event of illness. I do not, I used to have 7 systems at one time, but I just do 2.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And the only reason I ask is, I have DJs that I refer. You're on my list as well, but I have DJs that I refer out, and I like referring with the ability that they can self-sufficiently say, "Hey, no,
Right.
I'm booked, but I have somebody else to come to your wedding." But also, I'm sure that if you guys are completely booked, you have referrals as well. So, if you're looking at getting a DJ for an event or wedding or whatever, Larry's the people that you call, and they'll guide you from there, which is what I like.
Right.
Any last words you want to tell Facebook Live? I'm going to keep you on the line, but we're going to pop off here in a minute.
No, weddings are supposed to be about fun, and they're supposed to be about the bride and groom. And my feeling is personalization, customization, and making it as perfect as it can for the bride and making it unique and different. All weddings should be different. It shouldn't be like what happened last week. Excuse me. I don't play the same songs as last week. I want to customize and personalize an event musically and otherwise for that couple. And that's what sets us apart is the customization and personalization.
That's perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, you can find this Raw Focus. Information's in the description above. Subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. Larry, thank you for being on today. You are awesome, and you can talk forever, so it makes my life a lot easier. So bye, Facebook.
Thank you.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you so much, man. What are you doing the rest of the day?
Nothing. Going to get back into my pajamas, get out of this junk, and probably barbecue. And I need to start painting my bedroom, so I might start taping off some of that.
Oh, yeah. Processes. Yeah. Little processes will get it done.
Yeah, just relax with my Siberian Husky.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, thank you so much. We've been on for, a couple hours now, so this is good.
Well, thank you, Jeramie. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, keep me posted on everything. And then I did get your video, so I have it saved into my editing software. So I'm going to put it all together.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome, buddy. All right, have a good day.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How does it stop? Did it stop?
Not yet. You just go to end meeting.
This is like the Waldo thing on the Van Halen video. Right?
That's how you should do the whole interview.
Was that hot for teachers? Hey.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what to do. Do I hit something or you?
Here, I'll do remove. Let's see. Do you want to remove Larry?